I'm gonna tell you a story. First thing you gotta understand is time does not work the way you think it does. You can call me Oracle, because I'm the one who's talking to you. Open the call. Alright. So I came up with this concept a while back, and it relates deeply with the core concept of Bana, in terms of the Tree of Life, and especially in terms of it as Chalita Aryastana Visaye dark matter. And that core concept of deep design, or Adha Vakitya, if I am using the Sanskrit, it's essentially along the lines of here. So here's the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. Now the way this works is that Chalita is exactly the same as the fourfold division of the Tree of Life across 4 worlds, with the world of physical creation being on the bottom layer, and the astral plane being at the top. And you have like the world of emanations at the Paratanastana. You have like Atzura, Bira, Briya, Yetzira, I believe. I forget what this one is. So basically, I'm dealing with is right up here. And that has to do with. Alright, that largely has to depend on which stun of Chalita you're thinking about it on. And, when we're dealing with things like Divyazakti and, especially with, like, physical magic, it helps when you, like, have your information be layered. Which is to say, and it helps when, after those, it helps that as you layer those information, that, you know, the layers line up, like, doing deep design stuff on Bana. Which I haven't really explained, but I should probably figure out a better way to. I was like, I know, I'll do an episode on this. Oh yeah, I'm trying to explain something intuitive. Derp. So basically, let's see. My problem is I'm trying to explain Bana, and Bana is one of those things. The thing is, like, stuff at the top of the Tree of Life, Kader, Shokma, Bana, they're such, like, deep universal concepts that, like, you can go into it knowing exactly how you want to explain it. You get, like, 3 words in, and you're lost. I don't know where the heck I was going with this. Because it's just how vast the concept was. It's actually an interesting point. I should probably try to dig up the. I wrote a poem about this course concept, which is basically like a hymn to Bana as the Dark Mother. It's like Chaya Ambi is like dearest mother of the shadow. Because like that's a lot of what Bana is. Like it's deeply maternal. It's basically like. So not to get too morbid on it, I try to maintain an attitude with the way of how Punarjanam reincarnation works, and the core notion I have of Amingarha, the home of the soul. Essentially, when we die, when we get reincarnated, we go to wherever the home of souls is. And then we come back here. Usually with a better idea of what we want to do while we're down here. Um, and so with the coordination of with that, essentially Keter is Avangara, especially as the son of Lagan Sofsar. And basically Chokmah is like the universal father of light, but at the sthana of the primal swirling of the first movement of stars in a circle at the beginning of the universe, and Bana is the universal mother of like the infinite dark that's waiting for after all of the suns have died, waiting for the universe to collapse enough for it to restart. Yeah, and that's Bana. That's the Dark Mother. She's always waiting for us. She'll always love us. She's like the Antima Kaladula. She's the ultimate, like first. She's the Arya. She's the Arya Antima Kaladula. She's the first and final angel of death, essentially. All right, and wow, gotten way off of deep design with this, and gotten more into like hardcore Bina with this. But the core notion of that is essentially deep design is supposed to be about the relation between Bana and Tiferet in relation to matter. Because may as well show the chart. Show the trail life here. So where Tiferet is essentially at the Basra intersection of the Arya and the Dvitya and Tritya sthana of Chalita, which means essentially it's at the part of reality where it's going from we're no longer in like the Hayakaza, and we're leaving like the low causal plane and heading into the like the high levels of the dream area of dream space. And the basic like gist of Kabbalism in terms of this is that like the Triveni sthana above the Katirtha sthana of Chalita essentially support Katirtha's existence, and Katirtha supports their existence. Because that's just kind of how reality works. Like, you know, like the Arya sthana, the Akaza isn't supposed to be just separated from the physical. That's just not how things work. Like, our minds are not supposed to be separated from our bodies. That ain't how anything works. Our Bodhi ain't supposed to be like, unless you're projecting your Bodhi astrally and like you're taking like move hither and thither mentally and taking your Bodhi out of your avatara, like your Bodhi's supposed to stay in this thing. Like that's how that works. But at Tipperet, because Tipperet is essentially the point at which we are going from all discrete, subtle forces, like Arya Ogda, First Origin Prime, time until we get to things like matter and forces. Time doesn't actually have any relevance, really. Time can't really exist without the other physical stuff. So we get time merely, honestly, as a holdover place between all of the beginnings and all the ends of Bana. And then we get down to, like, as I said before, with how to create the universe in 10 easy steps. We get, like, mind, or Anatta, basically. No mind. And we have Bhagavad Fate, Fate, Destiny, and all that sort of thing. You know, how this, like over here in Chesed, how the story is supposed to go if everything is following, like, a merciful plan where everyone is like, following their Karuna empathy, and, like, people are always good to each other. And then we have, like, over here Mind, where we have Anatta, and we have free will, and we have Zva, ego, where people have, like, the ability to choose to do them, as opposed to, you know, do for everyone. And then we get the middle path, which is where Tipperet is, which is a lot of interesting associations associated with Jesus, honestly. couple days after Easter, it seems like, why not talk about Tiferet? That's fine. And then, but like by that metaphysical theory, the Svapna Parastana is essentially the thing that keeps physical reality going the most. So essentially, the dream realm is what keeps all the glamour supa as solid as it does, essentially. Which makes sense because at Tiferet is where like the causal sthana, which is associated most with the Atman, associated most with the soul, intersects most with the Siddha sthana of Svapna, like spirits and dreams. And then we get into like the Mamsa, which is where the Katirtha sthana is in the flesh. Boom, boom, boom. Where all our Nirtya Deha, our dance bodies be at. In the Nirtya sthana, as I call it. And that's like essentially why, if you're following the metaphysics of this as something as like that's actually how things work, why Tiferet is the point where Atman, or soul, is able to infuse physical bodies at all. Like, admittedly, Tiferet is not the life one. Life one doesn't come till Malkuth 10. But by the same token, you need there to be like carbon before you can have there be CO2. Like you need carbon before you can have carbon dioxide. So like you need the periodic table before you can have complex amino acids down there at life. Which is why essentially the Tiferet at matter sits at the place it does, right in between like the causal soul sthana and the Siddha Svapna sthana, which is also the Puratana sthana. And like it's actually very telling just by the name of Yesod, because Yesod is called the foundation. Like, and basically Yesod sits essentially right in between the third and fourth sthana. So basically Yesod is essentially supposed to more or less be like a gateway between, Mamsa and Siddha, like the closest intermediate access, or Vajra, between our bodies and our spirits. And as like, if Yesod really is the prima, Yesod really is the foundation of Malkuth, because that's how that would work. It's the foundation of Malkuth. It's the foundation of the kingdom. Essentially, that would make a ton of sense. And you have a nice, neat line from origin down through the soul space to Tiferet, where matter gets infused with soul, down straight through Yesod, through the Prema, down to Malkuth, which is why a lot of the time people don't get separated along Chalita, because it's very difficult to be, because there is a very natural in the human body, especially because the tree of life is supposed to be mappable to the human body. Like, unless your literal actual head gets separated from your torso, or from down here, or from down there, chances are your Chalita ain't gonna get severed. Alright. This is Oracle, gonna sing myself out. Been rambling about things of Adhavakitria, of this soul, of the deep design of how Atman Visaya of soul and the matter interact, Akayati Brandeya. And then I say, tomorrow maybe I might do more recording tonight, or I might do more tomorrow. Oh, by the way, there is a massive snowstorm going on right now where I'm at. So if you're out in the heat out there, keep your Kayana safe. Try to avoid going your Kayana at Hahima. You don't want to be stuck in a snowbank, no way. Drive safely out there and dream safely, truly. From all of you out there, from Oracle me.